Hello and welcome everybody, I'm Proper Barbarian in this Crusader Kings 2 and we jump today into After the End Old World because you voted for it. I am very happy about it because this is a good mod, this is a mod that I want to explore and I think it is only fair to have it on the channel because we have had its bigger brother on our channel already, After the End. A mod set of course in, America after the world ended, and now we're here in After the End Old World. As you can see, we are back, on the standard vanilla map. I think. I don't think much changed except Doggerland for some reason resurfaced, but don't worry about it, this is all good. We're going to jump into this and I think we're going to have a lot of fun because there are a lot of dynamic events that I have no idea about. This mod in itself, of course, isn't as fleshed out as After the End would be, but of course, that is justified. It has a very dedicated mod team, which I trust will bring out steady updates, and I hope enjoyable updates. So, let's just jump straight in, because I have a plan. Now, as we all look at that map, even I don't know what the hell is going on. All I can see is that Germany's fallen apart to what we have been for, about 1,000 years until we got unified. Then over here, everybody fell apart except the Britons, which is just disappointing everyone. Yugoslavia exists as the grand magnificent rule that it is indeed. Transnistria, well, same goes for that, I guess. But the most important thing is, of course, it is quite obvious to me, when you look at this map, you say to yourself, hey, one proper Barbarian, why don't you play Bavaria? Let me tell you, before I ever play Bavaria with a dynasty of Audi instead of BMW, I would rather stop doing YouTube altogether. I will never play this fake Bavaria because it is clear to me that in the lore, the people of Bavaria that live in Bavaria at this time have no understanding of what Bavaria is. Instead, choosing Audi, which isn't even a proper Bavarian brand. No, what we're going to play instead is much closer to my heart. It is much closer to who I am as a person. Of course, a dork, a nerd, you know the drill. We're going to play Pas-de-Calais with King Aragon of Pas-de-Calais of House Bonaparte. So, what is he, why is he, and why the hell would we play him? Essentially, after the collapse, after everything went down and people were saying, hey, what is the world? What does anything even mean? There were some people that said, you know what, we found some books, some really old books, and I think those books tell the truth about what is going on. For example, King Aragon of Pas-de-Calais, and all the people that call themselves novelists right here are people that believe that, their books about Aslan, about Sauron, about Gandalf, about, the ring bearers or the men of Numenor and so on and so forth are the truth and their ancestors. It is now on us to, bring the glory that the wonderful Bonaparte, Napoleon Bonaparte, and the wonderful Aragon brought for our family, and let's make it happen because I think we can conquer the world, or at least, what we can call Gondor. And in this playthrough, and with this character and with his family, it will be on us to refound what was once the glory of the novelist faith, and of course, the Bonapartes. You can see we have a bloodline here. Isildur I, a warrior and great king of legend, uniter of the kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor, high king of Numenor and popularizer of novelism. You can see right here he held the empire of Numenor, but it was of course called the kingdom of Numenor. I hope that I may reforge it, and I hope that I will also be in possession of Gondor. Now that would be the dream. There is a decision to do this, and the way this works is essentially that we conquer the centers of our faith, by which in particular here we mean mostly Paris and the region of Paris, but we just need to be big. Restore the kingdom of Gondor. The kingdom of Gondor was cruelly destroyed by the British invaders. Now that we have retaken Paris, we can reform this great kingdom and begin their reconquest of our native home. What we need here is more prestige. We need control of Paris. We need about 10 counties inside of our realm, and then we need of course some wealth and some piety, and then we shall become the king of Gondor. That is my goal. That is what I want to do, at least short term. I don't know where we are going to go long term here. With the blood of Bonaparte, by the way, we have reclaimed Numenor CBs. I think those allow me to take the land in France. If I were to declare war against the British Empire, which by the way, they worship an eternal queen that will return at some point. The queen is one of their ancient gods. If I reclaim Numenor here, I think it is essentially inside of our region where, we were born, where our dynasty was shaped. Although I'm not entirely sure here. I think if I were to attack Belgium, yeah, I could not use it, so I think it's pretty much limited over here to just France. But that is okay, because we are, of course, going to utilize that. We will be great conquerors. And King Aragon of Pas-de-Calais, already 51, he has 4 sons. Paramir Bonaparte, Boromir Bonaparte, Arathorn Bonaparte, and Walton. Yeah, that's a good mix, I think. That is something that we can work with. And we're going to go with war here immediately, and I will also go with, let's just say, you know what, build a war chest? No, let's strengthen the faith here. I think that is something that he would do. He's not particularly religious, of course. I mean, although he is a holy warrior, but I think that is more a coincidence than anything else. But what he is, most importantly, I think, is he wants to bring back the fame of our old dynasty. And I think we can do that by starting a day 1 war. Yes, indeed. We're going to go for a day 1 war against King Eric. Also a novelist, of course, but he doesn't bow to us yet. And bow he must. So here we go. We're just going to declare war right away. I think that we shall seek the battle in Paris. You know, of course, it is neither our enemy's territory nor our own territory. But we will show the British right at their doorstep that we are incredibly powerful. And I mean, we are incredibly powerful. Have you seen our commanders? This is out of this world. Although, of course, the Holy Warrior thing does nothing for us here. I'm just gonna, you know, still sort them this way. That should be fine. We have very good commanders. So let's go in and let's have this battle right here. Oh, they have 3k more. Are you out of your mind? What is going on there? Alright, we gotta get in that. We definitely have to fight it out over there. Although we already beat up 2k. And I hope that we can continue from there. Now, they now have a smaller amount of troops than we have. So I feel quite confident in this war. And now with the enemy army slaughtered, it is time to just mop them up and, you know, kind of finish this one. I don't expect too much opposition, in particular because we can actually just intervene here, river crossing or not. They have low morale, and we are, of course, more people. This will be a very easy, a very quick victory. And my wife is pregnant yet again. After Walton, I thought we would be done with the children. Oh, none of those children are hers, huh? Queen Letizia, I'm so sorry. I don't even know, where does she come from? How does she exist? She is a generated character, I believe. I don't think she was given to me by the game randomly. I think she was given to me by the developers, but man, she is not technically anybody's mother, huh? In the middle of battle, I catch sight of a boy wearing the same colors I am. I just have time to notice the fierce expression on his face when he is struck down. I feel a pang of guilt, realizing how much he reminded me of my son Walton. Walton. How would we cope with Walton dying? Honestly, you know what? We must remember to tend to our wound. We really do. And Bishop Garel, a preacher in the service of King Anso VII of the Basque Kingdom, has arrived in Amiens to spread the gospel of their foreign religion. He has little regard for our old faith, declaring it sinful, and he has explained in detail the horrors we shall suffer in the afterlife unless we mend our ways. So the way this works is that we are indeed unreformed, and the Reformation doctrine here seems pretty cool. Where the hell is it? There it is. Children of Ilúvatar. So, as the people of the Great Book, we have always been a people of memory. We should venerate the memory of our holy ancestors, so the patriarchs and kings of old will be remembered forever, and our wise men will devote their lives to this recording. We can influence younger close relatives. Family members think better of each other. Fertility bonus. Rulers can ask their subjects to take the vows and disinherit them, and the religious head can decide upon dead ancestor to give special status. So, you know, it's essentially just ancestry worship, except better. And spouses more likely to fall in love. Very nice. Now, I will reform this religion. I will not become whatever the hell you are, Palmarian. So if I understand this correctly, and I will be honest with you, I do not understand anything about this world so far. I'm just as lost as these fake Bavarians are in Bavaria. I'm just as lost as them, of course. And if I understand it correctly, there was a saint that said when the apocalypse happened, hey everybody, I hate the Pope, and so should you. And now they turned out, you know, hey, we will have our own church because we will have a Pope over here in Iberia instead of over here in Rome, or, you know, in the after the end scenario over there in St. Louis. So that being said, there are horrors to suffer in this life as well, my friend. And you know, the good thing is, that's free money. Thank you. I appreciate that. A GIF in my CK2. The revolution arrives. For centuries, an ancient belief system has existed in Europe, though it has usually existed underground in small cabals or among the heights of academia. These people, called the Jacobins, believe firmly that the event was caused by Europe's loss of fervor in the worship of the great goddess, Madame Guillotine. Following the teachings of the prophet Robespierre, they hold that Madame Guillotine must constantly be sated with fresh blood, lest mankind be punished with a second event. For most of their existence, they've been persecuted for their insane and dangerous beliefs, but in recent days, a charismatic young preacher has managed to convince many that the second event is nigh, and that dramatic action is necessary to avert the end. Hidden Jacobinists have arisen from their caves to aid them, bolstered by an army of peasants drawn by his apparent mystical powers and charismatic preaching. They now seek to war against the whole world in order to save it. Alright, Gilbert of the Revolution. He is a Jacobinist, of course. The followers of the Jacobinist faith believe that Robespierre, savior of humanity, came to the world to placate the eternal hunger of Madame Guillotine. After the death of her prophet, killed by the ignorance of traitors, Madame Guillotine was left unfed, and in the end it was humanity that paid the price in the form of the event, when she took all the lives she was denied for too long. The Jacobinists have sworn that this will never happen again. Madame Guillotine shall never again be left without food, no matter the cost. It is a sacrifice of a few for the sake of the many. This is great. Can you reform this religion? I don't think you can. I think it's already reformed. Then you must be something like the Caliph. The Revolution is probably, you know, essentially the Caliph tier title of this one. I didn't see it in the listing, though. But either way, this is pretty cool. They are rebelling in the south of France. Oh, wow. So we're not just going to have to deal with the Britons, who worship this weird-ass queen. We also have to deal with the Revolution, Who are these madmen? They will never be right. Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? Alright, let's finish this war and then let's worry about the south, shall we? Now, of course, the war's over. Pas-de-Calais is all over France in the north and the east, and we shall rule. Chief Eric of Dijon is very unhappy about this, of course. Oh, I hold his heir prisoner. Isn't that interesting? Although that isn't even his dynastic heir. But, you know, all that aside, we just won, and I hope that we can hold on against the revolution here. Tell me about it. 10,000 troops. You know what? I think I could... Oh, they call piety freedom. That is just amazing. Man, this mod has some really fancy ideas. It's essentially a better consumerism. I really like it. It's such nonsense. It's just beautiful. But we're not at the end of this yet, because what I want to do is I want to study a school of novelism. There are two great schools of thought amongst the novelists, and you can join one of them. The great novel covers a great many characters, schools, and philosophies. You have the choice of aligning yourself with one of the two dominant schools of novelism, the Kingsmen and the Elf Friends. A Kingsman is essentially... The Kingsmen, also called the Crown School, are a group of novelist scholars who emphasize the importance of defending the faith from infidels, both through the sword and through the word. Their patrons are Aragorn, Quasimodo, and Peter of Narnia. This is completely ridiculous, and I love it. The other one is Elf Friend. The Elf Friends, also called the School of the Cross, are a group of novelist scholars who emphasize the commonalities between the novelist and Christian faiths. They believe that Jesus is an aspect of Aslan under which he chose to appear to the Christians. They have improved literacy and healthier relationship with Christians. Now, I will, of course, say no to that. It's cool that this trait actually gives you tolerates Christians, but also, I love the idea of the mod creators turning around Jesus' position in Narnia, because of course in Narnia he is Aslan, or well rather Aslan is symbolism for Jesus, and we're gonna go with the King's Men. We have some damn guillotinists at our doorstep. You think I'm gonna go and say, why yes, Christians are cool? No, we have to protect novelism, which by the way has its holy sites here in Paris, in London, over here in Provence, down over there in Sinetul Secuish, so in modern day Romania. I don't quite know why that is the case. Like, I don't know what is so important about this region for novelist purposes. We have a dynasty here that doesn't exactly tell me anything interesting. This is a bone that once belonged to the Buddha himself. Huh. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I don't actually know. Maybe this is like... Oh, it's Dracula, isn't it? Okay. Either way, and then the last holy site is over here in Switzerland, meaning we should be able to reform it fairly quickly. And Switzerland, shouldn't I say Switzerreich? They have turned into a Calvinist theocracy. I always knew that the Swiss would go mad eventually in their mountains, and they did. But now that we are at peace, of course, we also have to look towards the future, and I'm already 53, so there's not going to be much of a future for me, but I do want to look at the Fellowship of the Rings. The legendary ring bearer that stole the ring from the evil hands of Richelieu and the White Witch, and burned it into the Vesuvius, defeating Sauron forever, was accompanied by many great heroes, including the legendary Aragorn, the Pevensey siblings, and Asterix the Dwarf. I'm actually dying. Following the footsteps of these legendary heroes, the Fellowship of the Ring trains to form a new company of valiant warriors. I cannot believe somebody wrote that. That is insane. Alright, let's join it. Adora van Grisjedel of the Fellowship of the Rings greets me with a brief nod. Another recruit, huh? To join our ranks, you need to prove yourself, boy. I'm 53. You're 21, Adora. The woman says gruffly, folding her arms across her chest. You'd be fighting one of our own. Still interested, my lord? Yes, of course. Adora Randosdochter and the Fellowship of the Rings have chosen Earl as my opponent. The young man eyes me up and down when we are introduced. Fresh meat, eh? He offers mockingly before shoving an elbow into my side, making everyone laugh. You son of a gun. I will destroy you. Where are you from? Oh, you're from... You know what? Depending on whether I lose or win, Senli may remain independent. A fight for glory, huh? Just as I injure him, Earl manages to break several of the bones in my hand. However, the crowd is chanting my name. You broke my wrist. And for that, I will take everything that you have ever held. Yeah, we're gonna go with forced vassalization here. I think I'm gonna immediately take over this territory just because I don't want the Britons to have it, you know. It is a war kind of oriented campaign right now because I'm very much spooked by the Jacobinists down there, and I don't want to have to deal with that if I'm too slow expanding and growing strong. Rabbit after rabbit was caught, killed, and brought to me by my new bird. Let's go, I'm a falconer. Man, you know, you gotta ask yourself though. You know, if you were after an event, the world actually ended, everything you knew collapsed, how much of the knowledge that we have today, how much of history can you actually pass on, you know? How many people know enough to explain what happened in the world and what is going on? After like 3 generations, 4 generations, everything will be muddy. And maybe, you know, somebody just used the novel as a tool to, you know, get other people to listen to them. Also, by the way, something that I only very recently noticed, this entire thing, so the Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg, one dynasty, and the dynasty has the best name that any dynasty in any game has ever had. King Philippe of Luxembourg of Dynasty Belgium Orange Nassau Weilburg. There was this guy, Leopold the Venerable, he was just one generation away, and essentially he was like, you know what, I descend from so many different pre-event dynasties you can't even remember. And in fact, I've already forgotten half his name. I only remember Belgium Orange. So that is pretty cool. They usually unite from what I have seen. I've only, run a test for maybe 10 years when I looked at this game. And I can only hope that we will see some interesting action over there. But they're all novelists, so they are a shield against the German menace over here that is weirdly Lutheran and Catholic. And just, you are now my vassal. Very, very nice. I am afraid of my vassals getting a bit uppity and rebelling against me, but I think that him being inside of my prison is a really good thing, because it means, I'm gonna put you on a house arrest, because it means that he can't join any factions. I am worried about Chief Eric, but I think we can figure this one out. I'm thinking if I take Lyon, there is a trade route there, and there is a trade post in Lyon. What trade route is this? This is inter-European route. Okay, fair enough. What is this called? West Way. Is it going? It's not. I mean, it is kind of going west, I guess. And then over here it becomes, oh, it is still the West Way. Why is that a different color? You know what? I never found out why those things changed color. But it really doesn't matter. What matters is that I think, can I take Lyon? I think I can take Lyon because we have amazing commanders. He has a very odd image. Yeah, it's really, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. Like the stuff in Bavaria, like the stuff over here in Pas-de-Calais. But the Swiss really depicted like I would imagine them to be depicted. They have dynastic decadence. Yeah, that's Switzerland. They're all crazy. Alright, why don't we go and conquer Lyon? Somebody has to do it, and if that somebody is me, then, I will do justice to my fate. Denethor is no longer steward for King Aragon. Oh, you magnificent bastards. He just died. He did nothing. I usurped his children. And he's gone. He is gone. Big F in the chat for Denethor. Let's teach those Swiss that it isn't just enough to be crazy. You have to be crazy and well-read if you want to rule in this current world. And oh my god, 17,000? Dictator Gilbert. Here's On the Revolution. This book describes the secret teachings of the Jacobinist sect, passed down from generation to generation. Only the dictator himself is supposed to read it. Right, this is actual madness. Like, this is actual madness. I like it. And a magnificent painting, good for you. Aux armes, citizens. I had a lot of... Who are you? Wait, why is the Thunder Dragon Empire involved in this? Excuse me? And how come the Thunder Dragon Empire, the Raven Crown of the Thunder Dragon? Oh, this is really good. Alright, well, okay, let's just ignore all of that. We're gonna take a look at that later, I think. I had French, I'm not good at it, that's why I can't pronounce this properly, don't worry about it. With the Jacobinist revolution in full swing, an enthusiastic group of peasants has taken up the cause of defending the faith. Uniting under a trained soldier, the group has taken to calling themselves the Sans-Culottes, after the legendary heroes who walked with the prophet Robespierre and slew his enemies in ancient days. That they did. But they are uppity peasants, and that is all they are. Now, I assume that he will declare war soon. I don't know whether we can win. Do I have some potential alliances? I married my family off randomly, of course, but if I can make something happen here, then that would be beautiful. It doesn't look like I can do much, but, whatever I can do is nice. What is the tech level like in this world? There's a lot going on in Paris. If we conquer Paris, I could immediately have higher tech levels. And then why are these provinces in particular high tech, I wonder? Is that something that they... Oh yeah, and then legalism over here, tolerance, majesty. Wait, France is just amazing. So France is essentially what the East Roman Empire is in terms of technology, it looks like. If I take Paris, we can actually become really high tech right away. That would be beautiful. Let's finish the war here against the Swiss and... No, don't Star Walking. I'm dumb. I misclicked. Let's finish the war against the Swiss and then we shall take a look at what else we can do. And the sickness has almost arrived. Dictator Gilbert, what are you going to do? He just declared war against Switzerland as well. The establishment of the Republik of Switzerreich. What are they doing there? What is that war goal? Alright, we're gonna see what the revolution actually does here in a second, because they declared a war against the Swiss, and I can only hope that that wouldn't end with me losing the game. Making us Republican, that would be disgusting. Oh my god. They're Calvinists over here. Wait, he wasn't a Calvinist. Who are you? Muwahiduna, Muslim. The Muwahiduna or monotheist religion was formed by Ismail the Visionary, first uniter of the nomadic people of the Sahara. It is a syncretistic faith which teaches that all those who worship the true God, Jews, Muslims, and Christians alike, are to be considered brothers in the faith, and there must be no war between them. In-game, characters of this religion can associate with one of a variety of schools, granting different boons. Wait a minute. There's no horse lords over here. Hey, those are live. Oh, there are horse lords. There's horse lords everywhere. Oh my god. That is hilarious. Like, that is really good. That is something else. I like that. I really do. It's better than actually having anyone live there in that part of the world. Alright, we will see how the revolution plays out here. I'm quite afraid that we're gonna have to face the revolution down ourselves once their war's over, because they appear to be very angry, and they appear to be going kind of northeastwards, which is exactly where we will be here in a second. Look at that. The revolution is eating the Swiss children. You know what? I shall hell. Oh, what? Oh. Well, no. Oh my god. Not like this. No. Okay, this is bad. If they do this to us, we are over. Switzerland is over. Alright, okay. Yeah, that's really bad. At the very least, the Prophet doesn't bother me. You know, they are establishing republics much like they did back in the day. But this is pretty bad. Do they get any event-spawn troops? They get a decent chunk here of troops, it seems. But our war is cancelled. And I'm wondering, if the Prophet were to become occupied, could I still conquer Lyon? Probably, right? Do we have any pacts? Okay, interesting. That's a really cool mechanic. I actually really like that. Of course, we can't lose it, because that would mean that I would be in a situation where I would be kicked out. But essentially what happens is they just actually establish a republic, which is feudal. But, you know, don't worry too much about the details there. Okay, so I thought this through, and they are not allied to the actual revolution. Meaning that I think we're going to go and we're going to declare a conquest war here of Lyon. I want to take the same province because that is our holy site and I really direly need it. So you know what? Sure. I think I'm just going to go in again. We just fought a war against it. They are still pretty well equipped. They have a decent chunk of money, but we have even more money. Let's take Lyon here. Let's do this. It must be done and it will be done. And indeed, we already had a victory at hand, but now it is finally, you know, something that we did against the revolution. They have lost the war, the conquest is over, and I hope the dictator Gilbert will not go on and come our way. But I honestly don't think he can, because he kind of locked himself out. As long as we have Switzerland right here, I don't think that he can use his, you know, create a republic CB, and he's down to 9k troops anyway. The south appears to be firmly in the hands of the revolutionaries, and eventually that will be a problem, because I need Provence if I want to reform the religion. But for the moment, honestly, I don't think King Aragon is concerned with that, because he has other problems, for example, ranking up and becoming a warrior so that we can stand together. Very cool. Let me just hand all of this stuff out. There is, of course, a trade post right here that is now under our control. I would actually like to build that up, absolutely. There's barely any income as is right now, but you know, better build it up than not build it up is what I would say. It should bring us more money either way. And when you look at that, Luxembourg and Belgium have united, much like they should in real life as well. Beautiful. This is a gorgeous map, beautiful to look at. Bavaria is still the same strange Bavaria that it always has been. What is going on in here? Now, Britannia hasn't really done much. They are, you know, kind of, I think, like the East Roman Empire in their structure. You know, they are imperial. They are ruling over territory where they have a lot of pagans around them. We are, of course, pagans by that definition. And I just hope that we can make this work against them. But I also just hope that the goddamn Jacobinist Republic won't see tomorrow. What I would want to do, but I can't actually ever do it because we are an unreformed pagan, I would like to reform my kingdom into something where Walton could inherit, but that is of course quite impossible unless I were to change to elective Gavelkind. But elective Gavelkind actually creates new titles. Honestly, it wouldn't be that bad. Could we get Walton in power here? He's a decent character, has children as well. Are we purely... no, we are agnatic cognatic. You know what? I think we're going to elect Walton. He is the most fit to become our... follow-up ruler. So I tried very, very hard. I tried to get everybody's opinion to the positive. And I need every vassal, by the way, not just the counts, but also the barons and the children too. Because the way this works is if you're a duke and you want to change your inheritance law, that it also, of course, you know, the barons have to be involved in this. And I can't make it happen. I don't have enough money. At least everybody likes me. We won't face a rebellion. Now, if I can, I will make sure that this will become elective Gavelkind. And I realize that this splits off titles, you know, where then Arathorn and whatnot will rule, for example, down here in the south. But I think that would still be okay. Not sure that I can do it as King Aragorn the Great Stag, but at the very least I tried, and you know, the ruler bonus will carry over. I think for today we are done. We have the revolution at our hands. We have defeated Switzerreich both times as the weird Swiss people that they were, and now as the other weird people that they have become. And I hope that our great kingdom, that King Bonaparte will rule for time immortal. And now this first episode of the series is over, and I want to thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. But before we go there, I want to thank the members of the channel that are making series and videos such as this one possible, namely the Barons Aaron, Stefan, the Riches, T, Snywolf, Emma Mello, Thomas, Lachlan, and Mitchell. Then of course also the Counts Shifty, Wombat, and Kzen. And last but not least, the absolutely beautiful Dukes. And that is of course Suspicious Dark and Nathan, Knight of Squires, Kenneth, Lexo, Eric, and Aiden. Thanks so much for supporting the channel directly, and I will see you next time. Later, Alligator.